We've actually made our way to the wharf just down the road from where we live, and we're going to do some maintenance on the boat. We're going to do some headlining work, and I'm going to bring the big solar arch down that I've built to get it down tonight. I'll get up to the factory, do a test fit. I'm going to have to drill holes, I'm going to have to core them with epoxy, and then come back tomorrow, re-drill and mount the thing. The solar arch, whew, what a challenge. We've been going at it for a couple of hours. We've actually positioned it here on the back, and I've just measured and angled the top supports there that are right up on the top there, just to make them match the roof line, and that was no easy feat. And we've had a massive day out sailing, and we're up at the wharf, and we've got a few hours to do a couple of jobs before we go home. So Janet's absolutely wrecked. We're both wrecked. We're wrecked. Yeah, you're wrecked too. Yeah, we've had visitors all day. It's just been full on. We had Jason out, and it's been a great day sailing. But yeah, we're going to lift this out, take it back to the factory. It only just fits on my ute, and tomorrow morning I can weld all the base plates onto the bottom of it, and then I can bring it back down and do a permanent fit. And while I'm doing that tonight, I'm going to core the epoxy in the holes so that I've actually got cored holes for the screws to hold the base in. And that's very, very important because it's foam core where it's screwing into. So we've got our boat up at the wharf at the moment, and yesterday I dry fitted the solar arch that I welded up about a month and a half ago, and I've just got to basically do some welding today just to finish it. We dry fitted it and actually cut it to the shape, or cut the 4 extension supports to the shape of the hardtop, and we also angled them down so that they're on the same angle as our hardtop, so that the whole thing sort of continues its rise into the sky. And I'm just hoping I've got it right, because it wasn't that easy. I had to use a broomstick and a spirit level. So the last part of the puzzle here is to weld on these bases. So we've got 4 of these 1-inch 316 stainless bases. They're going to be welded. So I've got to physically tack weld them all the way around, then I'll weld them, and then I'll polish them out, and hopefully I get that done by lunchtime so I can get this back on the boat today, because we don't want to be on the wharf for more than a day or so. Righto, we're loaded up. I've welded the mounts on. They're all done, polished up, ready to go, and can do a very quick run down to the boat ramp with it like this. Very quick run down to the boat ramp. Oh, it's a quick little run. It's only a couple 100 metres, but still had to happen. And Janet's here at the wharf. You ready to give me a hand? Come on. Met this fella here last night. He's from Victoria. He's come up to spend a week on his trailer sailor. Came up and set it all up, and up here with his dog, and he's just going to pick up his wife in Canberra, and they're going to spend a week on the water. Here's the boss, enjoying some wharf time. It's nice. Isn't it nice to get off the boat, not to make an epic journey? You can just walk off the boat, you don't get wet feet. I've been suffering from wet feet syndrome. It's been killing me every day, my feet are wet. So we'll untie him.
I need to put this away.
Just keep going, keep going. We'll lean against the pole. Just watch that window down.
I just need to turn around.
Okay, walk it that way.
Which way?
Now, just let me get rid of okay, yeah. Can you get it around there? Keep going. That's it. Oh, it's looking all right. I mean, it's a bit squarish, but then the rest of the boat is too. Well, I would have liked to have had a big bend, but anyway. You know, it's certainly robust, and it's going to give us a lot of safety and so much more sun protection once it's in place.
The stainless steel frames are square.
Yeah, but I wanted bent.
This is square. Why would you want it to be?
But I wanted a nice curve in the top, not a 90-degree angle. But anyway, it's going to look quite good, because what I've been able to do is hopefully match this angle to the roof angle, so the whole thing looks like it's still going fast. I like the speedy look of it, the way it looks like it's sitting down, ready to growl. What a wank. Anyway, what I've got to do, I've got to put a couple of screws in here. I cored these holes last night with epoxy, so I'm going to be drilling into cured epoxy rather than foam, and then underneath we'll put some big washers. I think I do have some base plates, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do them, but it's certainly something I can do from the tender. Anyway, we'll get it fitted. As you can see here, I've cored these holes with epoxy, and I'm able to drill into it without actually disturbing the foam. The key is not to disturb the outside of the epoxy so the foam doesn't get wet. And the mistake I've made in the past is trying to drill this while it's like this. You end up with the screws going in on an angle, so you've got to put it on there, mark the holes, then remove the item. Alright, holes are cored, filled with Sikaflex, put a bit of a sealant around, and then I'm going to stick this in place and put a couple of screws in it, put the bolts in, and then from there we're going to go over the other side and put the 3 bolts in that, and then we're going to go through the tightening process. Yeah, the problem is you can't drill the hole once it's in place. Over in a second, actually I could probably leave this now, put them in. Place.
I don't know what's going on there.
Doesn't really matter.
As long as it's on the right side of the track, I don't want to damage the track more than.
Yeah, so when I welded the gusset, which is good practice, this bent, so this has to be tortured back into place into these holes here. You can see the angle of the bend. Janet's struggling to hold it, but yeah, it actually bent inwards, so this needs to be pulled back out. Changed the whole. It's changed the whole shape of the boat.
Well, it's squared it up.
So what we're going to have lifelines coming across from here, Dyneema lifelines coming across to these points, and other ones going back to there, so that no one can walk off the back of the boat whilst we're underway, because at the moment it's pretty easy to have a bit of a walk off the boat. It's quite nice being here at the dock, isn't it?
Yeah, I am enjoying it.
Well, you never know if you build a boat square, and we try to do everything level and square, and how accurate that is. 89.8 degrees. That's pretty good. Take it around the other side. What is it on the other side? 89.8. I mean, get real. We're on the water and we're at 89.8. I mean, 0.2 of a degree out. That is just insane accuracy, and must have been built by a good bloke.
I'm more excited about the dolphin.
Yeah, we've got dolphins swimming past the dock here, and we're about 2 to 3 k's up the river. Okay, so the trick is now we've got to get this solar arch vertical.
89.8.
It's got to be at least be 89.8. I'd be happy with 90.
Might sit at
So
89.2.
push it further out. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so that's how it's going to look, and we got the fall of the top bars pretty right. I'm going to go up on the roof and just put a couple of self-tappers in so I can work out all the holes that need to be cored up on the bridge deck. Okay, so this is what I was aiming for all along, and hopefully it's going to be really good. Actually, that actually looks quite good, doesn't it? It's amazing. Must have been built by someone who knew what he was doing.
90.
That's 90 there, is it? Well, that one's in a good position.
Ross is not convinced it's square. I can't decide whether it's a play of the eye or whether it is square. The angle should be right, but I think it's because he hasn't screwed that one down. It's thrown the eye out. Yeah, I think now you push that one down. I think so.
Yeah, now that I've got it all.
The only one that might look a little flat is the second one. Is not the first one, but the second one.
This one?
Yeah.
What is it?
And I'm going to be really happy that we're going to have those safety lines for when we're sailing.
The whole intention was to never block the view. And the view I've got out the back here from that bar, from this bar here down to the tender, is just the best view ever when you're heading out at sea and when you're on anchor. And to be honest, the great thing about it is it is up about 20 centimetres higher. I originally wanted 30, but it was going to be just too ugly, and we won't even see the solar panels, which is even better. So yeah, I've tried to sort of keep the aesthetics of the thing very important, and also, you know, get good function with it as well. And yeah, it may not be the prettiest thing, but you know, it's going to be a massive addition to our solar power once I get a few panels on it in a couple of months' time. Now we get to the horrid bit, fairing. We've got the top has been sanded down and faired twice, and it's hard to get it dead level, but remembering I'm probably going to have some foam or something on the top there, and I'm using a high build primer, so once the primer goes on it's going to have to be sanded as well. The 2 lots of fairing has yielded this surface, which is, to be honest, it's pretty nice. There's a little lump here, a little high spot here, but it's where the foam joined, and probably a little bit of an indiscretion underneath, but the rest of it's looking really good. I haven't done the inside bevels, but that's going to be a quick hand sand with the torture board, and yeah, pretty much that's done. Now down on the stern here, I've faired down on the steps here. I haven't done the back, the actual back of the transom yet. Not really sure what I'm going to do on the inside. I'm not convinced I'm going to even bother fairing it, because it's going to cop a lot of abuse, and I am likely to have some anti-skid on this section here, and perhaps a little bit on the side, or even stick down foam. So it's all been sanded inside, so it does actually look pretty good, nice and smooth all the way along here as well. So yeah, I think I'm actually winning. Running out of time though, so I've got to get onto it. Today is a horrible day and nothing seems to be going off, so I'm going to leave it, get a shower, go down to the boat. I've got the boat down on the mooring where I've been working on it there with our solar arch and some other roof lining issues and some other things I've been doing in the rear cabin. So I'm going to have to go and move it. It can't stay there overnight, another night. It's definitely got to be moved. Alright, that's the first pass of high build undercoat. It's going to require a good sand on Monday. I'll be able to get into that and just give it a good sand with 80 grit and then do a little bit of extra fairing. There's a couple of spots on there I'm not overly happy with. It's alright, I'm not worried about this part here because that's going to have the foam bolster on it. But certainly down around the bottom we really need to tidy that up because that's actually looking pretty ordinary down there. But anyway, I'll get to it. It's just a matter of being able to see it. And when it's painted white, you are able to see all the imperfections. The deck actually looks fantastic. There's virtually no work needed on the deck, only probably a little bit around the handles here. But you know, other than that, I think the deck looks so good. Okay, I've put a base coat of epoxy primer on the boat, and I've just come in today, 4 days later, totally cured and sanded it down and really given it a good fair. So I'm going to give it one more coat of undercoat. The trick is to get a good base before you put on your top coat, and if you can get the fairing right, it'll save you a lot of grief in the long run. I'm not aiming for a perfect finish on this. A lot of the surface of this here will have an anti-skid platform on it. This here will have foam stuck on it, so there's only going to be very small amounts of it that are going to be seen. And I'm a bit hot from probably 3 hours of additional fairing on top of the base coat. So I've got the primer undercoat, Norglass, not sponsored, but yeah, it's a pity I'm not. I've spent so much money on this stuff over the last 10 years. I should have been sponsored, but anyway, we're going to get another coat of undercoat on this. I'm going to let that cure up, and then I'm going to start to undercoat the inside this afternoon or tomorrow morning once that sets up. Righto, we've got our base undercoat on the inside of it. I haven't done up the top yet. I've got to turn it up on its nose to do that. That's a bit of a process. I'll do that first thing in the morning. I'm going to let that set up overnight. Wow. Trying to get the weight down. I don't want to add too much weight to it, so it's just going to be one coat of 2-pack urethane paint on the inside. I'm not going to bother fairing the inside because we're going to have a piece of anti-skid inside as well, and pretty much that's the whole boat is almost done. It just needs to be painted. The hull needs to be sanded down, so once I finish doing the top sides, I'll paint the hull. Pretty momentous day today. We're saying goodbye to our trusty gel coat machine, our amazing gel coater that we got from Oliver at Beijing Composites. This thing has been instrumental in building the boat. If you're going to build a boat the way I did, you can't do it without this. You just can't hand mix resin. This thing did thousands and thousands of litres of gel coat and resin, and it's just been an absolutely brilliant tool. But it's been sold on to Innovation Composites in Nowra, which is about half an hour away, Mark Road, and the boys have actually decided to take this on. It can be adapted to be a chopper gun as well, so they can buy the chopper head to fit on top of our Graco gun. I made a number of videos about how good this external catalyst mix gun was. I mean, this gun alone is about 5,000 Australian dollars, so we're starting to talk some big dollars when you're talking spray gun material, or spray guns that actually can spray saturated resins. But anyway, we've got Mark's coming to pick this up in a moment, and I've just tested it and it's got an air leak, so it's always the way. I haven't used it for a while. I serviced the gun and the machine the other day, but I didn't check the hoses, and one of the hoses, just simple poly tubing. It's a very simple piece of this sort of tubing that's leaking, so it's not really anything major. It can be easily fixed with an adapter, and they can get straight to work with it. I'm under my fourth shirt today. The bloody humidity's just diabolical. I just went home and mowed the lawns and tied it up a bit, and did a bit of hedging, and fair dinkum, I've had 2 cold showers and 4 shirts. And before I went, I actually flipped this over. Janet and I flipped it over, and I gave the hull a good sand. Now, I haven't done the final top coat. I've actually finished the inside with a epoxy paint, but I actually have not done the final topside paint because I wanted to flip it over and just get the hull done, so that when I flip it over, I don't have to flip it over ever again, because it's still pretty, it's a fairly heavy boat. It's not as light as I thought it would be. I think sort of guessing around about the 60 kilo mark, so not exactly what I was anticipating, but you know, still a lot lighter than our existing tender, our Mercury tender, which is around 100, because it's a double skin. But anyway, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to make it any lighter, and as soon as I add some beach wheels on the back, it's going to be heavier as well. But so I'm going to get some fairing compound on this now. I'll leave it overnight, come in tomorrow, give it a good sand down, and then I can get some base coat, some epoxy base coat. Check out this freaking disaster over here. I got all sorts of chemicals going over here, and you know, I haven't quite finished with any of them, so I can't put any of them away, and that's just a shit fight. Now, we are out of here in a week tomorrow, so I've got basically 8 days to move out of here. So God help me, I've got to pull all of this down and trash the whole place. But anyway, we'll get there. We have to get there. We have no choice because we're off after that. Anyway, let's get on with it. Well, I've got the fairing compound on, and tomorrow I'll come in and I'll get into the fairing process of it. I'm running out of time, and that time means that I've got to be out of my factory by this time next week. I've got actually, it's Thursday now, so Friday, tomorrow week, I've got to be fully out of here by 6 o'clock at night. And that's the time I've given to the landlords, and I'm ready to move out. I've been here 25 years, so plenty of packing up to go on in here. But that means that this needs to be done. It needs to be finished, so I've faired it. I've added a pretty reasonable fairing compound on there. Going to let that set up. It's actually a waxed Q-filled or Q-cell filled polyester resin with a bit of gel coat in it. Plenty of material on there to sand down, and then I can get into the final preparation of it, which is going to include the Northane or Norglass epoxy base coat, and then but yeah, it's looking alright. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the hull design. I can't really change it now, it's too late, so hopefully it's going to be good. And Janet's working on the foam bolster that's going to go between these 2 sail track lines here that are on the side here. So quite a bit of work to be done here, so I've got lots and lots to do, and then I've got to start pulling this massive structure down, which has been the formation of our factory for 25 years. I've had this thing here, and that is a fair structure that's got to be pulled apart. So it'll probably take me 3 or 4 days just to pull that thing apart and then move it on out of here. I said to Janet yesterday morning, do not let me buy any more shit. We are currently going through the move out of our factory, and I feel like I've been living up here dumping stuff for 2 or 3 years, and it's just tragic. All the stuff that's here was once purposeful, I guess. We've got a load of steel in here, some 44 gallon drums, resin buckets, all that stuff. Luckily that can be recycled, and more importantly goes to the tip for free. So steel is recycled here. I don't know whether it is anywhere else, but it is certainly recycled here. Down here we've got all of our old kayak racks that I've welded up. I think about the amount of work just in making those racks. The godforsaken crane, I mean, look at the thing. That's going next week to the scrappy. That is a $30,000 kayak mould. From rotational moulding, when I used to rotational mould here and in Sydney, and obviously a trampoline frame. But that there, we spent nearly 100 hours just hand polishing that to a mirror finish inside, and it's still perfect inside. That's going to the scrappy. And this frame here, so what once housed our internal moulds and figment, my old boat and everything else, is going to be empty by the end of this week. I'm actually getting there. Construction fencing, sold that. Kayak moulds, what do I do with them? I'm going to retain a few of them. The industry is basically on its knees in Australia. I'm very reluctant to throw them away. You just never know when there could be a bit of a resurgence in outdoor education. Right now we're going through the Middle East war, and that is actually likely to encourage people to travel locally, to spend locally, to potentially buy Australian-made goods because of the cost of import and the cost of oil. Who knows? It's $3 a litre now. It was $1.69 here a couple of weeks ago. So there's all this to think about into the future when we come back from cruising, and I might need a couple of projects. So kayak moulds, I'm going to keep about 4 of them. And this whole framework now has to be disassembled, but I'm also trying to get the tender finished. That has to be finished by next Friday. So there's a lot of work to be done on that. I need to glass in some fixing points inside it. Sort of just a lot of little things that are going to make that boat a lot more usable for us. And over here is all the remnants of the boat build, all the foam core. Now sadly it's not actually virgin foam, or I'll be able to give it away. It's actually got fiberglass laminate in it, so I'm really going to have to consider what I do with that. There's a whole lot of other stuff that needs to be dealt with down in there. Once I was overwhelmed cutting up the mould, building the boat, blah 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 blah, but this one's sort of at the end of everything. 25 years of just solid history all tied up in this joint, and sadly it all comes down to nothing at the end. You just got to get rid of it, because in 4 weeks Janet and I hope to unhook the mooring and just leave for good, or for a while at least, for a few years. It may only be 6 months, might be 6 years, might be 10 years, we don't know, depending on age, health and all the other considerations, family and the like. But it is nice to be coming to the end of this chapter, because it has been a big chapter in my life. Every day it's basically been my second home, and now it's essentially my second home because we've been staying on the boat 4 or 5 nights a week to try to get that finished. I'm about a week and a half or 2 weeks of solid work away from getting that finished, all the wiring, all the little intricacies like the roof linings, and still down here on the table here I'm still doing woodwork, things that I thought, oh, I should get that done while the factory's open. So I've got about 20 projects going on in here at the moment, all of which have to be done in 7 days.